I'm with Tony Kim right now from Blackrock. I'm so excited to talk to you today because we're at the AI House here at CES, and there's a lot of talk about the future, and we really don't have a future in AI unless we have funding for it. And I know that you're into investing, so tell me a little bit about what you're looking for when it comes to AI and your vision for the future.
Well, when I look at AI, it's common principles. I've been investing for over 25 years, and those principles apply to AI as applies to before AI, and that these are great companies with moats, defensive moats. I have certain beliefs of companies that win. The power law. It's a power law mechanic that you need to be the top one or two company in whatever category, and then you have differentiation. Do you have a moat of some sort? It could be a technical moat, it could be a business moat. Are you unique? Is the market big enough? Is the opportunity big enough? Can it scale, et cetera, et cetera? And so when you put all that package, those are fundamental concepts. It doesn't matter if it's AI or cars or frozen pizza, okay? and so then on top of that, then there's AI, right? Which is this brand new opportunity, and many new companies, and there will be winners and losers. And so it's really our judgment to try to figure out who those are. And there's only going to be, there will be few that will really stand out and be catalytic and reach those kind of positions. But there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of companies trying. So then it's the prism in which you then try to look at all of this, just the chaos of a Cambrian explosion of companies, effectively. Who will then stand above the rest? And that's kind of what we're trying to do, and I can explain how we look at that. But effectively, though, the fundamental prism is, there are these core concepts of these power laws and companies that will win and scale, and you apply it to all these new companies that are being created.
So even though AI is really getting a rocket boost right now, you're still looking at the fundamental qualities to see what is going to work out in the long run. But I think a lot of these companies are also wanting to know what you're looking for in them. Let's say that they've got the fundamentals down. What makes you say they're standing out, especially in this AI space?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One way to frame it is there are what I call layers, a stack of technologies or areas within AI. Just if you start to frame it that way, and then in each layer of the stack, there will be winners, and there'll be lots of losers. Okay. And so if we start from the bottom of the stack all the way to the top, and if you were to visualize AI as a stack, like a pancake, and at the bottom is the power, the energy, right? Because that's you need to at the end of the day, AI is about computation of intelligence, and you need a lot of power to power these things. And then the layer above that is the chips, right, and the servers, which is the physical infrastructure to create intelligence, right? And so you got power companies feeding chip companies, and those chip companies are consuming tremendous amount of energy, right? Because to build these data centers. And then you have the cloud companies that are running these utilities, these AI factories, these infrastructure, okay? And so those three layers, let's just call that the physical layer of AI. And so at each layer, you will have companies that are doing very different things, but the power companies, they'll win. A couple that will win. It's not a winner-take-all in that. In the chip space, it is more winner-take-all. It is winner-take-most. There's a power law that, and we know some of those companies that are dominating the computing layer. Right. There's a cloud layer. There's a few, again, winner-take-most, that are dominating the cloud. And so that's one way. And then we move up. And then there's the model layer, companies building the foundation models. Again, it costs billions, tens of billions of dollars to build models, tens of billions of dollars to build clouds, hundreds of billions to build these clouds, billions of dollars to build the chips, and then many, many billions to build power. So the capital requirements also will it'll be difficult for a lot of companies to compete. So you're going to have certain kinds of bigger companies competing at this lower layer of the stack. As you get to the model layer, again, you need many, many tens of billions of dollars. And we know who those a few model companies. And then you're going to have data. Data is the feedstock to train these AIs, and there's going to be many, many different kinds of data, right? So not only language models, but like as you've seen at CES, is physical AI, different kind of data, the data of the world, right? And so there are companies there, and so there'll be more of those, few model companies, and then we at the very top of this stack, then the applications, and there will be thousands and thousands of companies. And then AI will be infused in every kind of application. A consumer app, or maybe a personal therapist as an AI. It could be a tax advisor as an AI. It could be a enterprise business AI, a customer service AI, a human resource AI. Thousands and thousands of companies. So you have few companies going to many.
It's like a funnel.
It's a funnel, yeah. And then you'll have at the very, very top, then how the AI then impacts labor. Services.
Right.
And then extensions of that, the physical world.
I see that you're looking at whole picture.
The whole picture. And then each area here, there are companies, and they're all in AI, you can say.
Right.
But they're very different. You know, a company building robots or a customer service AI versus a chip company or a power company or a foundation model company. And then at every layer there's competition.
So you're looking at all of these almost individually?
Yes.
Because you can't, like, you have the fundamentals that you were talking about earlier, but you have to really look at everything differently because of the many, many layers.
Yeah, so there is what I call horizontal principles of business. Companies win, they lose, competition, their business model. That's a fundamental. You can apply that to every layer of the stack. And then in every layer, there is the dynamics in nuclear power versus the dynamics in robotics versus the dynamics in enterprise software. Very different. And then that requires domain knowledge at every layer of the stack. And then you choose as an investor, if you believe there are winners and at every layer of the stack, then you need to interrogate every single layer. Somewhat differently, clearly differently, but there are certain principles that are common. Does that make sense?
It does. And I'm interested to know what it is, through your life, at what point were you like, I'm very interested in AI, the AI space.
AI.
So like what was it, that happened in your life that you're like, I'm drawn to this?
Well, I guess the first AI was, I read a lot of history and fantasy and science fiction. So as a kid growing up, I was a sci-fi nerd, and I read Isaac Asimov and iRobot and the Foundation series, and that was like some of the earliest instances of AI that were in fiction, and then obviously Terminator and many movies, and and so many AI movies, and Star Trek and Star Wars.
And I think there's so many people that have had that interest, right? From Hollywood to here.
And then it becomes reality. Hollywood becomes reality.
And you're helping making it reality.
Many years later, in my
in real life.
Yeah, real life.
Real life.
It's like science fiction becomes reality, and so. You're part of that, and then in the last, call it several years, especially. Actually, AI was there was analytical AI pre-Gen AI, right? And then, so call it last 10 years or so, all that science fiction stuff started to become part of the investment diaspora. And
become real for so many of us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for opening up about the process, for your process, and for being here at the AI House at CES.
Great, thank you. Pleasure.